You've been lied to about Persia. Not by one person, not by one book, by 2,000 years of storytelling. From Greek poets to Roman historians to Hollywood screenwriters, all telling the same story. Persia as the villain, the faceless horde, the dark empire pressing against the gates of civilization. Here is what they never showed you. The Persian Empire had running water in its palaces when Rome was still a cluster of mud huts. It had the world's first postal service, the world's first human rights charter, a road network that connected India to Egypt, gardens so beautiful that the Greek word for them became our word, paradise. Paradise is a Persian word, a story they didn't want you to know. Let me show you the land first, because in history, the land always explains the people. The Iranian plateau sits at an average elevation of 1,500 meters above sea level. It's surrounded on almost every side by mountains, the Zagros to the west, the Alborz to the north, the Hindu Kush to the east. In summer, the interior can reach 50 degrees Celsius. In winter, the mountain passes freeze solid. There are vast salt deserts, the Dasht-i-Kavir and the Dasht-i-Lut, so inhospitable that ancient armies avoided them completely. And yet, people thrived here, not despite the landscape, because of it. The mountains gave them defensible positions. The plateau gave them horses. The trade routes, running through mountain passes from India to the Mediterranean, gave them wealth. The Persians didn't conquer the world because they were lucky. They conquered it because their land taught them to be harder, faster, and more organized than anyone around them. The word paradise comes from the old Persian word peridaisa, meaning a walled garden or enclosed park. Persian royalty built elaborate garden complexes. When Greek soldiers first saw them, they were overwhelmed by the beauty. They borrowed the word. It passed through Latin into English. Every time someone says paradise, they are speaking Persian. But there was something else that made Persia different from every other empire in history. Something in their religion, in the way they saw the entire universe, that shaped every single decision their kings ever made. We'll get to that. The empire began with a name, Achaemenes, a tribal chief, possibly legendary, who gave his name to a dynasty that would last over 2 centuries. We call them the Achaemenids, and their family tree reads like a list of the greatest human beings who ever lived. Achaemenes founded the clan. His descendants built the small kingdom of Anshan in southwestern Iran, a vassal state under the powerful Median Empire to the north. For generations, the Persians bowed to the Medes, paid tribute, sent soldiers to fight in Median wars, watched their stronger neighbors take the glory. That patience, that long, quiet, watching patience, is one of the defining characteristics of the Persian people. They waited. They prepared. They watched for the moment. And in 559 BC, the moment came. And a man named Cyrus used it to change the world forever. Adam Shayathia Attia Hachamanesh. I am king of the Achaemenid lineage. Quick pause before we go any further. We just started, and you've already learned that paradise is a Persian word, and that the world's first human rights declaration was Persian. That's 2 facts most history teachers never taught you. There are at least 40 more in this episode. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. It takes 1 tap. And drop a comment. Tell me, did the 300 movie ever bother you? Because after this episode, it will bother you a lot more. A lot more. All right, Back to Persia. Before Cyrus could conquer the world, he had to conquer his grandfather. Astyages, king of the Medes and technically Cyrus's own grandfather, had received a prophecy when Cyrus was born, a prophecy that said his grandson would one day overthrow him. His solution? Have the baby killed. He ordered a trusted official named Harpagus to take the infant Cyrus into the mountains and leave him there to die. Harpagus couldn't do it. He gave the baby to a shepherd and his wife instead, and Cyrus grew up in those mountains, hard, strong, trained by the land itself. When Astyages eventually discovered his grandson was alive, he punished Harpagus in the most brutal way possible. At a banquet, he served Harpagus his own son's flesh as dinner, made him eat it, then revealed what he had done. Harpagus smiled, said it was the finest meal he had ever eaten, thanked the king for his generosity, and then spent the next 15 years secretly organizing the Persian rebellion that would bring Astyages down. When Cyrus finally marched on the Median capital, then Harpagus changed sides mid-battle, took his Median troops over to Cyrus. The empire fell in a single day. Patience and a long memory, those are Persian virtues. Remember them. They explain everything that follows. In 539 BC, Cyrus faced Babylon, the greatest city in the world. Babylon had walls so thick that chariots could race side by side across the top. The city straddled the Euphrates River with massive bronze gates. It had been besieged before. It had never fallen. Cyrus's engineers diverted the Euphrates River. They lowered the water level in the city's water gates, the points where the river flowed in and out, until the water was shallow enough to wade through. His soldiers walked into Babylon, through the river gates, in the dark, while the Babylonian king Belshazzar was at a party. Babylon, the unconquerable, fell in a single night. But here is what Cyrus did next, and this is the part that matters. He didn't loot the city. He didn't tear down the temples. He didn't enslave the population. He walked into the great temple of Marduk, the Babylonian god, and made a sacrifice. He told the Babylonian priests that their god had called him to come and bring justice to their city. The Babylonians didn't just accept their conqueror, they celebrated him. He freed the Jewish exiles, the people forcibly taken from Jerusalem by the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar, gave them gold from his own treasury to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. The Bible literally calls him God's anointed. This is the villain of the 300 movies. This is the dark empire pressing against civilization. This is what they never showed you. Anna Babili Alishu Anashulmi Ishrukam. To Babylon, his city, he brought peace. Before there was Christianity, before there was Islam, before there was Rabbinic Judaism as we know it, there was Zoroastrianism. And the ideas at the heart of this ancient Persian faith are ideas you hear every single day, just in different words. Heaven and hell? Zoroastrian. The eternal battle between good and evil? Zoroastrian. A final day of judgment where the dead are raised and the world is remade? Zoroastrian. Angels? Zoroastrian. The devil as a fallen being of light? Zoroastrian. These ideas passed from Persia into Judaism during the Babylonian exile, when Jewish scholars came into contact with Persian theology. They passed from Judaism into Christianity, and from Christianity into Islam. The moral architecture of half the world's religions was designed in ancient Iran by a prophet named Zarathustra. The Greeks called him Zoroaster, and he may have lived as far back as 1500 BC. Yata ahu vairyo, atara tu ashat chithacha. As a lord is to be chosen, so is the divine judgment from truth. Zoroaster's message was radical for its time. Almost every religion around him had dozens of gods. Gods of thunder, gods of harvest, gods of war. You gave them offerings, they left you alone. Zoroaster said, "There is one supreme God. His name is Ahura Mazda, the wise Lord. And the entire universe is a battlefield between this God of light and an evil spirit named Angra Mainyu, the destructive spirit. Every human being, every single day, makes choices that tip the balance of this cosmic battle. You are not just living your life, you are fighting for the soul of the universe." Zoroaster called his 3 commandments Humata, Huchta, Huvarshta. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds. That's it. 3 words, written in fire 3,000 years ago. And this was the religion of the Persian kings, the empire that freed the Jews, the empire that let everyone keep their God, the empire that built the world's first human rights charter. Now you understand why. After Cyrus died, his son Cambyses took the throne, and almost immediately things went wrong. Cambyses conquered Egypt, a real military achievement, but in Egypt, he reportedly mocked the sacred Apis bull, stabbed it, said their gods were nothing. The Egyptians called him a monster. The Greeks said he went mad. While Cambyses was in Egypt, a man claiming to be his murdered brother seized the throne back in Persia. Cambyses raced home to retake his empire and died along the way. Possibly suicide, possibly a wound. The exact circumstances remain one of history's great mysteries. Into this chaos stepped a young Persian nobleman named Darius. He claimed to be of royal blood. He rallied 6 other Persian nobles. They overthrew the pretender in a single night, and Darius took the throne. What he did next, how he consolidated that power, how he justified it, how he turned a violent coup into a legitimate dynasty, is one of the most brilliantly calculated acts of political communication in all of history. Adam darayavaushk shayatia vazraka, ami azam. I am Darius, the great king. I am of royal lineage. Darius carved his version of history into a cliff face 100 meters above the ground, so high that no one could reach it to change it. But the real question is, was he telling the truth? Was he actually royal? Or was the entire Achaemenid lineage a story he invented? Historians are still arguing about it. We'll get there. Darius looked at his empire. 5.5 million square kilometers, containing around 50 million people, speaking dozens of languages, and asked a question no king had ever asked before. How do I actually govern this? His answer was the most sophisticated administrative system the ancient world had ever seen. He divided the empire into 20 provinces called satrapies. Each province had a governor, a satrap, who collected taxes, maintained order, raised troops when needed. But each satrap also had 2 parallel officials, a military commander who reported directly to the king, and a secretary who reported directly to the king, each one watching the other. No one man could ever seize too much power. He built the Royal Road, 2,700 kilometers of paved highway running from the capital Susa to the western city of Sardis, with relay stations every 25 kilometers, fresh horses and riders waiting at every station. A message could travel the entire empire, 2,700 kilometers, in 7 days. 7 days. The ancient Greeks, who took 3 weeks to travel the same distance on foot, described Darius's messengers with awe. They said nothing could stop them, neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor darkness. That phrase, neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor darkness, was later adopted as the unofficial motto of the United States Postal Service. The American postal system is quoting the Persian Empire. Shelach Malka. The king has sent word. The king has sent word. The movie 300 showed you a Xerxes who was bald, gold, pierced, enormous, and barely human. The real Xerxes, carved at Persepolis by artists who saw him every day, was a bearded, dignified, middle-aged man, wearing robes, holding a flower. He wrote letters to his governors about the welfare of farmers. He commissioned poetry. He had a favorite wife named Amestris, a strong, politically active woman who influenced his court decisions for decades. He was a man of enormous ambition, deep religious conviction, and what we would today call a complex inner life. He inherited the greatest empire in the world, and he spent his reign trying to make it even greater, and watching it slowly begin to crack under that weight. His own inscription at Persepolis, found carved in his own palace, describes the empire he ruled. He lists the nations and peoples under his dominion, 23 different nations. And his words about them are not the words of a tyrant demanding obedience. They are the words of a man trying to be worthy of what he inherited. Shayatia Vazreka, Shayatia, Shayatia Nam. Great King, King of kings, King of nations of many races. To get his army from Asia to Greece, Xerxes built a bridge of boats across the Hellespont, the narrow strait separating the two continents, nearly a kilometer long. Thousands of boats lashed together, a causeway wide enough for cavalry. It took over a year to build. A storm destroyed it the night before the crossing was scheduled. Xerxes' response? He ordered his soldiers to whip the sea, 300 lashes, into the water, while his soldiers shouted at the waves, "You bitter and briny river, your master lays this punishment upon you for injuring him who never injured you." He also threw a pair of fetters, chains, into the water, to bind it, to make it understand it was his slave. This actually happened. It is recorded by Herodotus, who was alive at the time. You could call it madness. You could call it theater, a performance of absolute power for his soldiers to witness. You could call it the act of a man so accustomed to having his will obeyed that the concept of a natural force defying him was genuinely incomprehensible. Perhaps it was all three. Opikron hidor, despotes toi dicen epitithei tende, hotimin edikesas oden pros ekeno adikethes. You bitter water, your master lays this punishment upon you for injuring him, though he never injured you. Themistocles, the Athenian commander, sent a message to Xerxes. He said, "The Greeks are about to flee. If you block the strait, you can trap them. Destroy them all." It was a lie, but Xerxes believed it. He ordered his fleet, over 1,200 warships, into the narrow bay of Salamis. At night, packed together, unable to maneuver. When dawn broke, the Greek triremes attacked. fast, maneuverable, working in practiced formations. The Persian ships, too many, too close, too large for these narrow waters, couldn't turn, couldn't ram effectively, began colliding with each other. Xerxes watched from a golden throne on a hill above the water. He watched his fleet, the greatest naval force ever assembled, destroy itself in the waters below him. He is said to have torn his robes when he understood what had happened. The Persian Empire survived. It remained powerful for another 150 years. But Greece was gone. The Western ambition, the dream of a world empire stretching from India to the Aegean, died in those waters. Themistocles tricked him. But the deeper answer, Xerxes' pride made him vulnerable to that trick. A man who whips the sea believes he is invincible. That belief was a weapon his enemies used against him. Darius the Great died in 486 BC, after 36 years on the throne. He had reorganized the largest empire in history, built Persepolis, constructed the Royal Road, extended Persian rule from Egypt to India. Before he died, he dictated his own epitaph, and it is one of the most remarkable things any human being has ever said about themselves. He did not list his conquests. He did not count his wars. He did not name the cities he burned or the armies he defeated. He asked to be judged by something else entirely. Ho vazraka adan utam akunavam. I was great, and I acted accordingly. What I have done, judge it by what I have done, not by what I have said. Judge me by what I have done, not by what I have said. A king who ruled 50 million people, who commanded armies numbered in the hundreds of thousands, who built one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and all he wanted was to be judged fairly. I think that's all any of us want in the end. In 330 BC, the last Achaemenid king, Darius III, was fleeing Alexander across the deserts of modern Iran. He had fought Alexander 3 times, lost 3 times. His army, the greatest military machine in the world, had dissolved around him. His own satraps, his own governors, captured him. They didn't want to fight anymore. They thought if they handed Darius to Alexander, the Macedonian king might reward them. They stabbed him and left him in a cart on the road. Alexander's troops found the cart, found Darius, still breathing, alone. The last descendant of Cyrus the Great, the last king of the empire that had once ruled the entire known world, dying in the dust of a cart on an abandoned road. Alexander was furious at how Darius had been treated. He ordered the traitors executed. He gave Darius a royal funeral. He reportedly wept over the body. Even in death, Darius was treated better by his enemy than by his own people. The Achaemenid dynasty, 2 centuries of the greatest empire the ancient world had ever seen, ended in a ditch. The Achaemenid Empire lasted from 559 BC to 330 BC. 229 years, longer than the United States has existed. At its peak, it held around 50 million people, roughly 44% of the entire global population. No empire before or since has ever held that large a share of humanity. But its real legacy isn't territory. It's ideas. The concept of religious tolerance, governing millions of people of different faiths without forcing anyone to convert, that is Persian. Every modern secular democracy inherited that idea, through Rome, through the Islamic Caliphate, through Byzantium, all the way back to Cyrus. The concept of a centralized bureaucracy, ministers, departments, written law, archives, Persian. The concept of a road network as imperial infrastructure, Persian. The postal system, Persian. The concept of a universal language for trade and diplomacy, Persian. And the word that captures the highest human aspiration, the most beautiful place we can imagine, a garden of rest and joy and peace. Paradise. A Persian word. From the very first garden the Persian kings built. Still on our tongues, 2,500 years later. Every time you say that word, you are speaking Persian. You are remembering something beautiful that the world almost forgot. Parideza, around plus wall, a walled garden. The Old Persian word that became the Greek paradisos, which became the Latin paradisus. Alexander didn't just burn Persepolis. He took everything Persia had built, its administrative system, its roads, its multilingual diplomacy, its artists, and used them to run his own empire. The Hellenistic world that came after Alexander was Persian civilization wearing Greek clothes. Next episode, we follow those ideas as they travel west. You've just heard the full story of the Persian Empire. From a tribal kingdom in the mountains of Iran to the civilization that invented paradise. If this changed how you see the ancient world, if you'll never hear the word paradise the same way again, then you belong here. Subscribe. Every week we go deeper into the world's history tried to simplify. And leave a comment telling me which king surprised you most? Cyrus, who freed the slaves? Darius, who built the world? Or Xerxes, who whipped the sea? Because next episode, we go somewhere even older. Before Persia, before Egypt, before civilization as we know it, there was something else. Something they found in the desert that rewrote the entire human timeline.